Hi, welcome back to another video. Still section 1, core beliefs. And this question is, what's one mindset shift that could save most businesses from failure? And this is one that I first heard from Dan Kennedy and some of these other older great copywriters and direct marketers, and it still applies. And that mindset shift that you should take on is, what is the most I can spend to acquire whatever, a lead, a customer, whatever. Most businesses look and they say, I want to spend the least amount possible to acquire my leads. And I'm not saying you don't try to manage your budget so that you can get as many leads as you can for the most money. But if you're in a competitive market space, which is where most successful businesses are, customers can be expensive to acquire. And you need to be able to spend more than your competitors. So let's say, for an example, the average customer for whatever sort of course product right now ranges between $100 and $200. So we'll say it's $200 on average to get a customer to agree to do something. Now, whatever your front end piece is doesn't matter, because it's going to cost you $200 to get them to be a buyer. So your first product could be $50, could be $100, who knows? But it's probably going to cost you around $200. This is just an idea for you, right? Most business owners try to bring that down to like 80. So trying to get customers for 50, 60, 70, $80, right? And the way I look at it is, okay, but if you could spend $200 to get a customer, you can almost get customers from anywhere. Because while everybody else is fighting to get a customer for 60, 70, and 80, you could optimize the same amount and then crank your budget. Because even if it ends up costing you $90, $100, or $110 to get that customer convert, if you're able to spend $200, then you can spend way more and get so many more customers, while everybody else reduces their budget and tries to get it in that nice, the perfect $60 spot, say, for example. This has a massive shift on your business, because if you can figure out how to spend $200 to get a customer and either be break even or profitable, and everybody else is at 80, then when their costs go up to say 100, they drop out. They cut back on their advertising, they try other spaces. What that means for you is more customers. And then your costs start to go down. Understanding that it's not how little can I spend to get a lead or a customer. It's how much can I spend and how can I make that number bigger. If you can grasp that shift in your mindset of how you do business, you could be unlimitedly successful. What I would look at is the greatest place to see this is cosmetics. You go back to the early information product days in the early morning when they had info products, or not info products, infomercials, right? They're like 45 minutes to sell a product. Gothy Ranker had, I forget, it was some sort of cosmetic to like clear up blemishes or pimples or something for people. Their business could go 6 months negative, meaning they could spend whatever a customer would bring in over the course of 6 months to get one customer. So if you look at that and you say, most businesses aren't even willing to go 2 or 3 months negative, let alone 1 month negative, just to acquire one customer. But they were, because they understood the lifetime value and they were able to continually sell them products that they knew as soon as they got somebody, they were worth 3 or 4 times as much. If the average person stayed with them 18 months, they didn't care if they lost 6 months of revenue up front, because they got 12 more months of revenue at the back end. Most of the other competitors weren't willing to lose a month, maybe 1 month, because they didn't know how to keep them and they didn't know how to get them to come back. But Gothy Ranker did. There's a lot of businesses that are like this. How can I get my customer to give me more money over a long period of time, whether it's either selling them more offers or letting them into some sort of continuity program that even if they only stay for 3 to 6 months, that's more time. And how much of that money can I give up in order to get the customer? Which in the end, what I want to highlight is most people are scared to break even, meaning if they spent $1 and they got $1 back and it's zero, they're unhappy. That is like a utopia, because that means you can spend infinite amount of money. You don't actually lose anything. and you're not gaining anything financially. But as I said earlier, it's not cash flow that's king, it's your audience. So if you're building up this huge audience and it's costing you nothing to get them, that is a massive boon to your business, right? If you can go negative, if you can spend $2 to get a customer that might give you one, if you can manage that because you know over their lifetime, they're going to give you 3, that's just as good, right? So it's like if you can get any point in time. And usually this comes down to some sort of psychology. And there's some, there's I forget where I heard it, but it was somebody's given like $100 and the person that is on the other side of the table is given nothing. And you have to negotiate and come to an agreed upon amount. And if you both agree on the amount, then the money's split. But if you disagree on the amount, then nobody gets anything, right? You would think that it would be 50-50. I got $100. I'll give you 50. I'll take 50 and we're good. And the data shows that that worked. And sometimes I'll keep 51, you get 49, worked. But a lot of times there was a discrepancy where if somebody got more, so somebody's like, I'll give you 20 and I'll keep 80, they would say, no, nobody got any money. And this was very, very common. And this is a foolish mindset. Why is this foolish mindset? Because even if they offered you $1 and they kept 99, that's one more dollar that you didn't have before. And I want you to think about that when you do marketing. You might spend $5,000 and make $5,100. So you're like, oh, I'm only up $100. Sure. Do that 1,000 times. Right? And you'll see how much difference it is in your business. Go back to those customers later, sell them something else. See what those numbers do to your business. But you have to be able to go under you have to be willing to go under that mindset shift that it may cost you a lot of money to get a customer. But if you have things in place, it'll be very profitable for your business. But it's one mindset shift that could save you a lot. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.